All right, Taha, welcome back. One of my favorite questions. Influencers come sometime in a second, right time, right moment, sometimes in a lifetime. My grandfather, for example, he was from Kyiv. My grandmother from Kyiv. My mom from Kyiv. He had an accent. He used to take me for walks in the park in Montreal when I was 5. And one time I asked him, I called him Zeta. I said, Zeta, how do you know all these people? And he said, well, one day I smiled at this guy and he smiled back at me. And then he started talking to me. And then while we're talking, another person came by and they smiled at us and talked to them. And I said, this is brilliant. And that was as a 5-year-old. And then I saw how much more brilliant it was that just a smile can make a big difference. Can you share with us 2 or 3 people that have been influential in your life?
There's so many, and I get inspired. I'm lucky to be inspired by mentors, advisors, and peers honestly on a daily basis. I'm so privileged, and I would like to extend that to as many people as possible, because I literally say, I think I'm only here today because of the mentorship and the guidance I've received on a daily basis. At work, I'm lucky to say that I work with people who inspire me every day, and I think that day that stopped would make work almost impossible for me. But if I was to pick a couple, I would say, yeah, my mother and father for different reasons. My mom, incredibly resilient and inspiring woman, and has supported us throughout. And my father, yeah, just in terms of keep pushing us to trying to be the best we can be, and trying to have a positive impact wherever possible. So both of them would be in very different ways, and maybe that's for another talk where we go into a little bit more detail. But I would say definitely the 2 of them. But I'm so lucky, if I just think of our conversation we just had, this is something that sticks with me. This is something that helps me go further, helps me build on myself, so to say. And yeah, I think very lucky in that sense.
No, that's great. And you raise a good point. I guess we can complete with this is we're always influencing people, whether we think it or not. And it's our choice. And you talked about choice in our conversation at one point. It's our choice to do it positively, or do we want to do it negatively? Because you never know when you're influencing anybody, when maybe they're even more, vulnerable at a certain time or whatever. So thank you for sharing all that. Thanks to your mom and dad. They did a pretty good job. And we appreciate you being on the series.
Thank you so much.